guys don't wear white. They don't wear white. They don't wear white. They don't wear white.
Welcome to Breakfast and BS with Vince and Friends. I am your host, Vince. And today we got the firecracker Kitana Vera.
Hi.
Sergio Top Down Aloysius Cream Corn Sanchez is far off in the distance.
How do I come in? I come in all right, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, we'll leave it to the editor to boost you up.
Yeah.
Producer Sweet Waffle Virgil. Sweet. And El Rey de SoCal making his return to Breakfast and BS with Vince. The one, the only, my friend, my mentor, second man on earth. You know, producer Virgil was first, then came SoCal Crazy, then came Sergio Top Down Aloysius Cream Corn Sanchez. It's historical fact.
I do
SoCal
feel like
Crazy.
the second man on earth. That's how I feel today.
You have the three wise men here.
Exactly. You three have guided me at both in very, very different points in my life. I feel like I'm a better man today because at least out of two of the three of you, I'm going to let you decide who's who.
I'm going to take credit for that.
The only guidance I give you was, there's Cheetahs.
So he is the most important influence in my life. We are here, of course, at Setofani's in beautiful La Mesa, California. The jewel of the hills. Thank you. And family, it is always a pleasure. Huh?
I'm just making noises until you're ready to.
Well, since you were making those noises, it reminded me of Star Wars The Last Jedi. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Sis?
I'm excited for it, and Porg.
And Borg?
Porg!
Oh, that's the little thing next to Chewie, right?
Yeah, he goes, ah! No!
Was that in the last trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not see the last trailer yet.
Producer Virgil's trying to avoid spoilers, so
Okay,
let's start spoiling.
Yeah.
Let's start spoiling. SoCal, what are your thoughts on Kylo Ren coming up on this?
I think it's great. I think he's going to have, obviously a really big role in the series. That whole conflict he's got between going to the dark side or staying in the dark side, going back to the Jedi ways. I think that's really cool. It's gonna keep you wondering what he's got planned. I mean, because right now the way it looks, obviously he's the main villain. He's the guy that's gonna run the Empire for a while, but he still has that inner conflict, So
Like his grandfather.
like his grandfather, yeah. So it's really great. I don't know I know most Star Wars fans probably think that everything's being recycled as far as storylines, but it's really good that they're doing that because it's almost like they're continuing the story with that. It's just new characters. So I really have high hopes for Kylo Ren. I really do.
Star Wars is very cyclical, man. The entire everything comes full circle.
Yeah.
In Star Wars, so I'm actually okay with like what SoCal said about them kind of maybe recycling things in people's minds, but the story is very cyclical. So you're gonna come back around. And you're gonna touch home. So I think it's done. It's been done right so far. I think I'm all right.
I cannot wait. My only beef with the last one, Force Awakens. My only beef, it's just a minor one. I was kind of hoping to see Luke get down. It's just see how his fighting styles come along since the swing and miss of Return of the Jedi. I know it wasn't, but Luke was my favorite.
Well, look forward to this one then.
Yeah.
Don't have lions in this one.
Yeah. Like if my life was like Star Wars, obviously Virgil's my Chewie. Sergio's my Ben Kenobi. SoCal's my Han Solo.
I like how you have both cast.
Yes, exactly.
What's Kitana?
Let's not go there. I'm gonna get hit. She's the Emperor.
Oh, Emperor's better than Ewok. I like that. That's your mom.
Oh yeah, no, my mom's definitely the Emperor. No, she's my warning signal in life. She's right there always going, it's a trap. I forget his name.
General Akbar.
She's not. Yeah, she's Akbar. I'm joking. You're the one lady that's in charge of the rebels in the first one.
Okay. That works.
But yeah, you know, that's just my hero's journey in life. No, I'm looking forward to it greatly. I've loved these new movies that have come out. I love Rogue One. Just to see freaking Vader just destroy everybody at the end.
Yeah.
Jesus Louises.
Rogue One was awesome. And the cool thing about Rogue One was it was a little darker.
Yeah.
than all the other Star Wars, you know. So Rogue One was definitely worth checking out, and you know, I hope they go with the same concept as far as it being dark with the Han Solo movie. I really have high hopes for that too.
Yeah.
And that's directed by Ron Howard now, right? If I remember correctly.
I don't know, man. Directors keep coming in and out. The thing about the tone for Rogue One, like SoCal Crazy said, is that if you look at it in the like all them, because it is a prequel to A New Hope. Because if you time together, like A New Hope picks up right where Rogue One ends, which I appreciate, but it really underscores the tone of A New Hope as well, because A New Hope is a lot more not lighthearted, but it's definitely a much different tone. And Rogue One and all the darkness and the sacrifice that was made, you know what I mean, to achieve their goals for the rebellion, really kind of sets the tone for A New Hope. And it really does feel more like A New Hope when you think about all the darkness that, you know, just happened right before that. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was definitely a really good compliment for a Hope.
Yeah, it answered a lot of questions.
Yeah.
All right, I want to change this up a little bit because there's something probably only SoCal Crazy can answer for me in my life. So my nieces are playing soccer, and as you know, I believe it was made by European women to punish the men. And I'm in week 273 of this, even though like it started like the beginning or the end of last month. Please explain to me, why do people think soccer is such a great game?
Because soccer is a great game. Soccer is amazing.
It's all you do is a ball in a fucking field.
Sometimes
that's all you have.
Exactly. It's a sport that obviously it's played all around the world. So I mean, exactly. You don't. It's honestly, I mean, it's the only sport where a world championship means a world championship. You know, like the World Cup.
Excuse me, WWF.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that, but I mean, it's great. Soccer is amazing. If I wasn't wrestling, I'd probably be playing soccer.
The over 200 league, gotcha. Well, obviously SoCal Crazy's still drunk from the night before. I'm joking, you know I love you. But we're gonna have to I beg to differ on this. I can't get into soccer. I tried. I stand by my principles. Or well, my reasons, I should say.
So how much different is that from hockey?
Hockey is a struggle of man. And their need to hit a black puck into a net.
Okay.
There we go. Boom. And skate on ice. Obviously, the ice signifies unity of the world. The two teams are the duality of man. The buzzer is time, letting you know that we only have a finite amount of time on this world to truly get what you need to be done. And that is why hockey is ruled by the kings.
Thank you, Shaq.
Being abused.
Drink it. Drink
No,
it now.
Get what you deserve.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
It's like I have my mom here hitting me.
Hey, you get standing for his mom.
Oh, no, because then
But
then she's gonna end up stabbing me,
That's
and I don't
right.
want that.
That's the same. Oh,
Yeah.
take your utensils.
Yeah, we had my mom on here, and one time she stabbed me. She stabbed me
Across the table.
across the table on her birthday.
Oh, that's why.
Nonetheless.
It's her birthday.
She can stab anybody she wants on her birthday.
Not me. I'm her baby. I'm her pride and joy. I am the light of her universe.
Not that day.
It talks a lot of shit to her.
I talk a lot of shit to everybody. That's part of my charm. You know, I'm a charming man.
Yes. Yeah. Because you're charming enough to stab.
Charming man with a few holes in his arm.
Sometimes you need to take a cut. So, where was it? Oh yeah, the greatness of hockey. You know, ducks may fly together, but the kings rule all. Ow, 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 ow. Quit it!
Why are you hitting yourself?
Because your hand's too small, but they hurt.
Alright, so okay, so anyway, great explanation, Vince, because they seem to follow the same directions and rules, and you just kind of change up the environment.
No.
Alright, anyway.
Like I said, soccer was made by European ladies to punish the men. And hockey was founded by the gods to entertain the masses of Canada and and North America. Yeah, but really, that's just any sport. You know, you got your team on this side, you got your team on that side. Score on this side, you score on that side. And really, it's just oversimplifying everything. It is the struggle that makes it. And you don't hear ole 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 ole.
That's one of the best parts about soccer. Is like you get the whole crowd
I actually
chanting.
do like that too, but that's just because it reminds me of El Generico. Oh, I don't tell you guys. So my Uncle Dave actually is learning the trumpet, and he brings his trumpet to the girls' soccer games. So whenever they score, he starts playing his trumpet, and we just all kind of distance ourselves from him, going, "We don't know this guy." But since my oldest niece Vera is in, you know, a more structured league now, they actually told him you can't play.
Awesome.
And believe me, the referee got some cheers from our family that day. Like, yeah, good call, ref. Good call.
You gotta do it for the team.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I love you, Uncle Dave. Don't ever listen to this.
Don't worry, it's been 6 years.
Don't worry. Yeah. So,
Next issue.
so thank you for explaining soccer to me, even though you know you're senile and old and crazy.
That's true. It goes with the name.
It goes with the name. So, crazy. Who are some of the up and coming prospects of the SoCal scene that you really kind of got your eye on, going, this guy's gonna be something if he sticks with this?
You know,
It's funny that you said that because I was on Friday. I was in EWF on Friday, and Jesse Hernandez has always had really good students coming out of his school. I mean, that's probably the reason why he's been going for 20 plus years. You know, he's always had good students. You know, Rocky Romero, Frankie Kazarian, like all these guys came out.
One
of
of
there,
these
so.
years, I will meet Rocky Romero. This I swear. I always seem to miss him.
Not met him.
I don't know. And what the worst part is one time he was gonna be Black Tiger, but then I had to go babysit Johnny Lowe. That broke my heart.
That's true. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I have him on my phone.
Tell me he's my favorite wrestler, please.
What? Should I tell Psychosis that?
He's my second favorite, okay?
Oh, okay.
Psychosis is?
No, Rocky.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
But mainly because he's Black Tiger. Yeah. I think Nosawa's Black Tiger 5 or something like that.
Oh no, Nosawa. He's crazy. Good guy though, but crazy.
Okay, so anyway, back to up and comers.
So let's see, up and comers. Wow, there's just so many out there. This question really makes me feel old.
We are older. That's not like me not joking. That's not a joke. I mean, like I see like a lot of the young guys go up, and I'm like, fuck, I've been in this business for 12, going on 13 years, dude. I'm a fucking old man in this thing.
Yeah.
It's not an old man sport.
No.
That's true. I mean, well, this
Or
past
old women's
September, I
I reached 16 years this past September. So it's, been lucky enough to have been wrestling for 16 years.
And going at the level you do. Jesus Christ. You wrestle like people half your age. I mean, when you get out of the ring,
oh yeah, I mean,
you're like 10 years older, but
Kitana takes really good care of me. So,
I give him the drugs.
but I think right now, one guy that everybody needs to really watch out for is Jake Atlas out of Santino's, Joey Chaos's school. He's a tremendously gifted guy. I think he's got a gymnastics background, so I mean, he's the guy. Honestly, I would compare him with Will Ospreay right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, the guy's just a tremendous athlete. He's really good. He keeps it up, and he keeps getting guided. He's gonna get picked up really quick. I mean, he's just amazing talent. I think another guy who is really good, but his attitude sometimes is really might be holding him back is Eli Elberfly. Is another really good talent. I don't have anything personally against him. He's always been great to me. I've heard stories, but that doesn't say anything about his in-ring ability. I mean, the guy's just amazing in the ring.
Okay, so on that, and I like to also get Kitana's thoughts on it too. Like, now, do you think that's a character he's playing? That, because there, you have the internet, you have Facebook, you have all these things, and that's your soundboard, and then so you could be playing a character, or you could be that's who you really are. I mean, and the whole Ultimate Warrior, type of phase where like you kind of don't know the difference between the character and the real person, So I mean, is it one of those things, or I mean, just kind of curious, but because you have to kind of when you read the stories or hear the rumors, and then you just kind of have to like you don't want just to join in on the bandwagon on the hate train and stuff, and it's just you kind of have to your personal encounters with those type of wrestlers. You're like I didn't see that so.
For him specifically, or
No, just in
general.
Yeah,
just in general. I'll hear stories, but I don't make any type of what do you call it? I don't judge until I actually interact with that person and just see for myself. Like, there's a couple that like people have like talk crap on, but I'm like, if I get to meet them in person and they're cool with me, I'm cool with them. Like, that's all that matters to me. Like,
Right.
I'll let everybody else like do the talking and stay away from that, all the drama.
Yeah.
But I know, like, deep down, like, they're a good person, at least with me. So
Honestly, I think nowadays it's a lot different being a wrestler. It's almost like sometimes you have to live your gimmick outside of the wrestling ring, just to be taken seriously, because
Pepperidge Farm, remember?
wrestling nowadays, it's our job is a lot harder now because a lot of people know the inside workings of wrestling. So to a degree, sometimes you have to act like the person you are in the wrestling ring, even though you're if you're a jerk in the ring, unfortunately sometimes you have to act like a jerk outside of the ring, but that's just because you have to get that specific point across. Now, I've seen guys that have taken that to the extent where they're jerks all the time, which unfortunately it sucks because we're all human beings. So, there's a place and thing for a place to be good, place to be bad. So,
Right. And I mean, also I think because there's when you're being trained, you're the whole concept of kayfabe. You're trying to make it exist outside of the internet because people go on the internet and just like, oh, here's this person's real name, here's his real age, he's not really Japanese, it's just like that type of thing. So
Except for SoCal Crazy, nobody can read the hieroglyphics for his real age.
that's true. I've never had a problem with that.
Right. That's cool. Any female wrestlers that look promising?
oh, that are brand new.
Coming up.
Maybe like what, in the last couple of years, maybe?
Oh man, I don't even know who's around really.
I'd say they're all old.
Yeah, they all kind of started like just a couple years after me, and that was like a long time. Oh, sorry. But I know there's a couple girls in training right now that I know of. I haven't actually seen them though. Who's all out there?
Wow. Well, what kind of advice would you give them as far as, coming up and
Being
because
a female worker.
Yeah.
Don't let anything get to your head, please. That's
Ruined
it.
a few.
Yeah, it's ruined a good amount. So, just stick with your craft. Keep working hard. Try your best to know who the good people are from the trashy ones.
And you actually recently had a match with a female wrestler from Japan.
Yeah. Yes.
God damn it.
Akane.
Akane Fujita.
How was that experience?
That was
'Cause I saw you guys working on match structure, and it was one hell of a game of charades. I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thankful that wrestling is a universal language, and I was really nervous about like the language barrier itself, but we got through the motions and we pulled it off.
And actually, one thing I really liked about your match was that you were the little powerhouse.
Yeah. I think it really showed like she was willing to work with you.
Yeah.
And the thing was, I was like, wow, she's the
Bully in the match.
Yeah, I thought that was pulled off really well. That was good.
Yeah, it's been a while since I got to like kind of be the heelish type again, because I was always like a tweener and didn't really get to practice either one. So yeah, I had fun.
Good. Nah. Would you like more of those matches, or do you prefer more matches where you're beating up your husband for not doing the dishes?
Both.
Oh, damn it, I lost my train of thought. It's been a long morning. Give me a
Dishes.
break. Dishes. Yeah. Okay, so SoCal. One thing we've been talking, me and Virgil have kind of been talking about recently, we noticed like with a lot of the younger guys, is the lack of match structure. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Because, like nowadays, the SoCal style is basically just high spot, high spot, high spot, high spot, high spot, high spot. No real ring psychology. Like, and as somebody who obviously works more than I do in the business right now, and than Virgil did, you're in demand everywhere you go. Like, what are your thoughts on, like, how do you usually get around that? Because your matches always seem to have more psychology than a lot of the younger guys nowadays.
Well, I think right now it's a time in wrestling where everybody wants to see that now. So it's not so much even here in Southern California. It's basically everywhere.
I know, but all the style of wrestling now, I just consider the SoCal style of wrestling, because that's basically it's lucha. It's all lucha influenced, and it basically coming off of PWG. Because a lot of the big Ring of Honor stars and WWE stars right now all freaking had major turns in PWG. It's not something that's just, oh yeah, no, these are Ring of Honor. No, they were PWG guys before they were Ring of Honor guys.
Well, it's kind of hard to say, because although there are some people that, well, let me put it this way. If you wrestle somebody who loves to do spot after spot or whatever, let's just say that spot after spot after spot in the match, and I'm guilty of doing that. I mean,
I'm aware I wrestled you.
it's almost like you have to do that, but you have to take into consideration the psychology of it. Like me in the beginnings of my wrestling was, I had to learn psychology as the years went by. Unfortunately, it wasn't like my first match wasn't all automatically I'm telling a story. So for the younger guys nowadays,
To be fair, your first match was for the Quest of Fire.
and I beat Jesus. Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well,
I was
thank
not
you.
aware of
Thank
that.
you.
You know, that part got lost in translation in the PWI.
But I think the younger guys nowadays, it's a little harder for them because now they have to live up to the par of being spot monkeys, I guess if you want to use that term, because it's harder for them. It's harder for them to establish that. So now fans nowadays are a lot smarter. So now they want to see that high flying spot, whatever. But if you're able to combine that with the good psychology of a match and know where to place all of those high spots, then it's the doors are gonna open for you. You know, I'm lucky enough to still understand where to put all of those high spots in my matches. You know, even though I still want to go out there and do everything, you know, but it's the placement of where all of that is gonna go to tell the story that you're trying to create. So I would have to say we're living this in a really different time now with wrestling.
Yeah, and I just want to lay out, give like a layout of a match with SoCal Crazy. When he comes up to you, he's gonna have a million ideas, and during the course of the match, after talking about it for at least over an hour, he's gonna forget everything the second the bell rings, and whatever works happens. But it's always still in an order, and it's always okay. We're gonna do this now.
That's why calling it in the ring is actually pretty valuable, especially knowing that art and wrestling SoCal.
You know what the funny thing about that though, and I think I talked to Kitana about this a couple of weeks ago. When I step into the ring with friends who I consider friends, I always go in there and I have fun. And even though I do structure a match, or we try to structure a match, because to me, my matches have to be more than 20 minutes. It can't be less than that. I get upset if I get a 10-minute match, 15-minute match.
I can vouch for that. God damn it, the longest match of my life. You know, my matches are freaking 6 minutes with intros. And mind you, I try to stretch my intro to 3 minutes. Jesus Christ, I felt like I ran a marathon. Mind you, my mask has no mouth. So I can't, you know, breathing's a little questionable here and there. And when you got some asshole spitting beer in your face and getting your mask all soaked, well, and still trying to do another 15 minutes on top of that, it is not fun.
That's great. But I mean, going back to that, it's like when I wrestle friends, it's fun. So when I do forget things, I know we're gonna be okay because I'm having fun. You know, when I have to wrestle guys like international guys, or when I have to wrestle somebody where the promoter wants it to be a good match, then that's when I know, okay, this is more of the business aspect of wrestling because I have to deliver a match that they're paying for. And so it's funny because I tend to forget most stuff when I'm in there with friends because we're having fun. It's not so much, okay, we have to have a business styled match, you know? And to me, I mean, if I had to pick between the two, obviously having a business style match is what makes your name. But if I had to pick between the two, I would always wrestle friends because I'm in there having a good time. I'm not in there working. I'm in there having a great time. So.
And I think everybody could tell the attitude when you're wrestling, when you're in there with friends over, okay, it's time to go to work. You know, and I think that's better for the audiences too. Because they feed off of it. They feel it.
Yeah.
Now, we're kind of getting on time, but
It's okay.
all right.
We got extra time.
Okay, cool. So, you had a lot of big matches this year. You know, you were in there with Rey Mysterio, the aforementioned Psychosis, which is, in my opinion, the biggest match you've had ever in your life. Damien 666, Bestia, Honky Tonk Man. That's right. You were in there with the honker.
Tag team champion.
Tag team
Honky Tonk
champion.
Man.
You know, I mean, you are quietly the gold standard in SoCal wrestling. I know you don't like when I give you that kind of praise, but you are, dude. You know, everybody that knows that they're gonna go up against you, it's gonna be a good match, or you're gonna take care of the person. You know, you may not be at the top of everybody's list. You know, over like flashier people like Joey Ryan and all that stuff. But F you, Joey Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm just
Again, and fuck you, Thrash.
hi Danny, hi Della. We're taking care of business. Anyway, but you know, like I said, you've had a lot of high profile matches, dude. Like in your head, like, you know, me and, like, when I think of you, I just think of me and you in the backyard of Rapada's freaking, you know, in that beat up ass ring, dude. And I think it's awesome that you're doing all these matches, man. Like, what goes through your head, dude?
I don't know. I mean, I
Hell, you went to Japan and freaking made an impact last year.
yeah. It was.
I'm going with you next time, man.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, that was an awesome experience.
Carpool.
Plane pool.
I actually enjoyed the plane ride. It was nice. Yeah, it was good.
Did you use the coloring book I gave you?
Yeah, we did. We did.
What? You're in there for 4 hours. I thought that would be a great gift. You're just there coloring. Yeah.
4 hours? That's a 10-hour flight.
Give me a break. I don't know math.
It was a long flight.
It was actually it was a shorter flight coming back because I think the flight over there was 16 hours.
Yeah,
right?
it's the jet stream.
Yeah. So we came back at 12 hours. So, but I mean, going back to your question, I mean, I obviously have been very blessed with the matches that I've gotten. You know, the funny thing with that, though, with all of the high-profile guys that I've been able to work with, I've always just saw them as wrestlers, you know, because to me, once you start training to become a wrestler, you're a wrestler. I mean, doesn't matter if the guy that you're going to wrestle is on TV every week after week after week. I mean, you're still going to be out there doing the exact same thing. So I wasn't so much starstruck or anything like that as it was more like, okay, I have to have a good match with these guys, you know, because that's what they expect. The only difference was the style of matches because I'm so used to spot, whereas they're used to television matches. So that was really the only difference that I encountered. But I honestly get more nervous wrestling guys like Little Cholo and B-Boy. Like, I get more nervous wrestling those guys than wrestling high-profile guys because I know I don't want to sound like egotistical or anything, but I know that I'm ready for those kind of matches, and I've proven that. But when it comes down to guys,
love yourself much? Jesus Christ.
No, but I mean, when it comes down to guys like B-Boy and Cholo, guys who have seen me grow up,
They know you.
they know me. So to me, like, I have to prove to them that I can still go. Whereas the higher names, I just have to prove to them one time, and they know, okay, this guy can go. But with these other guys, it's like I have to prove myself to them all the time. So, but not to say that I didn't have fun. I mean, I had a blast wrestling Rey Mysterio. You know, I finally met somebody that was shorter than me, which is awesome. I mean, the guy's tiny.
Your wife?
Well, I mean, she's about the same height as me. I think. Yeah.
She's a nice little
But-
Ewok.
You know,
Gotta get the pitch in there.
Quit being so violent. Jeez.
you know. Then
I don't deserve this.
Psychosis was a great match. So that was awesome.
I still got the picture you sent me. You put his arm on my shoulder. You put a heart around it, you
The
douche.
funny thing with that, though, we were
that was
right?
Kitana.
We were in the back getting dressed, and I saw Vince creeping inside the doorway into the locker room, and
He's taking creative license.
and I'm talking with Psychosis, and we're talking, and then Vince comes up to me, and he was like, "That's Psychosis." I'm like, "Yeah, I know who that is, Vince." And so Vince was so nervous to talk to him, right? So I actually had to go up to Psychosis and be like, "Hey, my friend's a really big fan of yours. You want to go give him a hug? And Psychosis, I guess, went over there, gave him a hug, took a picture with him. And I remember Psychosis in the back, he was like, man, your friend is huge. He's like, yeah. He goes, does he wrestle? I was like, he wrestles. He goes, man, I would love to get in there. I need somebody to base for me.
Oh, look at his face.
Yeah.
Look at his face.
I never heard that.
Yeah, so it was awesome.
I'm not crying.
It was great.
I'm not crying.
Crying. Shut up. I don't need this right now.
Here you go.
There's our picture.
You guys are jerks.
Yeah, because it was so funny. Because when I saw Psychosis like turn around, he went, and he went,
Yeah.
like he looked like right at his navel, and then looked right up. It's just great.
Yeah. That was funny. So like the match that I had in Japan with, I had a couple matches out there. That was more business because I went out there and I had to prove myself to that company, that audience, that wrestler. Luckily that went out well, and actually that I was a little starstruck when I went out there because, I mean, wrestling.
It's taken really seriously over there.
Yeah, very seriously, very serious. So it's like you have to be on your A game the entire time. Like there's no room for mistakes. There's no room for anything. Like you have to be on your A game. And just like what Kitana went through with Akane, the language barrier was hard. So it was really all body motions of everything. I mean, the guys that I worked, the only thing that they knew was clothesline and shoulder tackles. So they would say, I'll give you a clothesline, I'll give you a shoulder tackle. Everything else, we really had to just feel each other out and go out there, and we delivered it. So it was fun. It was a great experience. The crowd was weird because they don't cheer, they clap. And you have to earn their claps, So like you have to do something that will make them recognize your talent. So I really had to go out there and actually work a match. So. But luckily it went right, and I won over the crowd. So it was an amazing experience.
That?
Kitana sold all your merch. Yes. I remember seeing that tweet. Like, oh my god, I didn't know I could just show up a place and sell everything.
Yeah.
I literally sold everything now.
There's definitely a mystique with, especially in Japan, like, oh, they're American wrestler, oh, they're from Mexico, or they're from, all these other places. So they want to remember that experience. And the thing is, you can't read Japanese people most of the time because everything happens inside their head and then turn into like, and then you'll never know it. They just they go, oh. And then like you go on 2-3 days later, maybe they write about it. Oh, it was the most beautiful experience of my entire life, and it's like it. That's the thing is you have to appeal to their emotions, but the thing is you'll never know it. You'll never know it. It's, true.
So next time you go to Japan, Lions game.
Oh man, I think other than the wrestling, the best part of Japan was actually going into the baseball store at the Tokyo Dome. Yeah. I'm a huge baseball fan, so I've always wanted to check that store out. So I walk in there and there's just tons of you got your Osaka Dragons, you got your Tokyo Giants, I was like in heaven. So it was great. It was amazing.
Brought me back to the Shibuya Lions, I think it was.
A cup and ball, which was a baseball and a stick. It's great. And Kitana got bit by a deer.
She did.
What?
She got bit by a deer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we
was a
went
jerk.
to where is it? Nagoya or Nara? Nara. We went to a place called Nara, and there's a park that leads you to the temple, and so the huge temple. So the park, there's deer roaming around. And there's these ladies that sell rice crackers on every corner. So you buy a rice cracker, you get like 10 rice crackers for like $3 or something. And so that's how you feed the deer. And so at one point she had a stack of these rice crackers, and you could just see all these deers just come toward her.
It was cool
Oh
and
man!
scary at the same time.
So the temple that you went to, So they just basically just let anything roam around there, but it's mostly just deer. Like, was there?
Well, I guess to that particular temple, the deer was like a sacred animal. So I don't know if it was like a protector or something, but they had they had deer statues, and they had they were very protective over the deer, like very protective. So it was great, man. And the temple itself was just amazing. Like, those statues had to have been, from, I don't know, over 20 feet tall. I mean, those things were huge.
All right. Well, you know what? That was a hell of an interview for these guys. Yeah. You know what? We're going to end this episode of Breakfast and BS. Like and follow producer Virgil's band, Still Ill, San Diego's tribute to Smith and Morrissey. You can find them on StillIll.net, Facebook, and Instagram. You can find Sergio on Facebook at Sergio Sanchez, next to the Jurassic Park Jeep, but leave him alone. He's a cranky old man. You can find Kitana Vera on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Kitana Vera. Book her. She needs more work. You know, she's got to raise her profile to match her husband's. Quit pinching me. Quit pinching me. I need freaking restraint. You know what? Next time they're here, you guys are switching. I can't. No.
And I'll switch back.
No, I don't need to get kicked. You know, I'm a saint. I don't know why I'm getting hurt all the time here. This show's dangerous for my health nowadays. And you can find SoCal Crazy on Twitter and Instagram at SC Crazy or SoCal Crazy. Book him. He needs to feed his dog. Plus, he's a heck of a nice guy. Tell him Vince sent you. He might cut you a deal. Or not. You know, whatever. You don't know what his asking price is. And you can follow me on Instagram at Maldacilo1904. Thanks for stopping by. I'll get the check.